He's just taking that role. He's a yes coach kid and does everything right.
Is there anything that he can't do that you've asked him to do?
No, I've asked him to do everything too. I've asked him to play every position on the defensive line, and he's done it at a high level. So he's been just taking everything from the training room to the strength staff to the defensive staff to head coach and just going above and beyond. And that's just who he is. Like if you watch practice, I tell him to burst out of the stack and he's the first one out and the last one back every snap in practice because he's running. So it's a blessing to have one of those guys.
Is he your coach on the field?
Yeah, I'd say a lot of them. I think going into our second season, Nick has really taken the playbook and understood it. Jake and even Stanley and Jamar, those guys have taken the playbook and understand why we're doing things. First, it's just do what the line says. Then it's okay, there's other lines around me on the paper. And then it's the broad perspective of, okay, this is the situation, this is what Coach Orlando's thinking, and this is why I have to be where I am. That's the step we're taking.
I know these other guys have questions too. Korey Foreman, what's the hardest thing you have to get him to take that next step?
I think experience. I think it's only going to come with live bullets. He hasn't played in a while, and throwing him out there and seeing what he can do, I think is really going to be the biggest teacher. Is going against somebody that's not in Trojan gear and understanding the Coliseum and understanding pressure and getting after quarterbacks that want to get it out. So I think that's when he'll take the next step. And then the next step after that is to be seen.
How much of a role do you anticipate for him just right out of the gate week one?
Yeah, as much as he can take. As much as we see fit to throwing him out there, we're going to throw him out there. We take Thule last year. I'm not one to hold guys because I don't think they're ready. I trust practice, and that's a big thing for our defensive staff. It's like we trust what we see in practice, and we expect to see that on Saturday. So when he gets out there, he's got full confidence. And I told my guys, if you're hot, like I loved as a player, if I was playing well, that the coaches let me out there. And I'm not afraid to do that. That's what they've earned throughout the week is playing time and opportunity to perform in front of their friends and family.
I know Clay said, on third down, he's already obviously got all that natural talent. What does he need to do or show you on first and second downs that make you more confident in that?
Just with every other freshman, just being consistent in assignment and alignment and all the little things. Like I said, this is a very complicated defense, especially up front because we do a lot of different things. So him understanding, what to do, when to do it, how to do it. It's just the growing pains of being young. But he's got a dog in front of him too, and Nick Figueroa that's gone through battles and understands the defense now and can play ahead of what he sees. Right? He can understand, a line here, they're aligned like that, I know this is what's going to happen. Right? So he's got a great guy to learn from, and it just comes down to consistency. Yeah.
Nick really took that step forward last season. It seemed like. Where have you seen him kind of even elevate further?
I think in leadership, that's one of the guys that I think they kind of gravitate to give me a message. So they'll go, Nick, ask coach if we can do this and that or whatnot, because we have a really close relationship. We just ended up talking a ton throughout the season, and he had a lot of questions and came over to the house when he had his internship in Manhattan Beach. He came by, hung out with the family, so they kind of gravitate towards him to ask me questions and stuff, which is funny.
Where has Stanley kind of proven himself to you over the course, given all the opportunity he was able to get over his camp?
As someone that we trust. I think that's the biggest compliment is that we trust somebody to go out there and play, and that's what he's done throughout training camp is just steadily improved and gain the trust of everybody every day.
What do you feel like you learned about your group this preseason?
Kind of their limits and their capacity, right? As a coach, you want to know how long a guy can go, how long a group can go, how high can they play throughout training camp. And I pushed them pretty hard and left guys out there to see what they would do, and they all fought back and were able to execute. So that's the thing I've learned the most, is that regardless of who's out there, they're going to go long, go hard, and execute at a high level.
You're a SoCal native, and this will be your first game in the Coliseum with fans. What's it going to be like for you coming out the tunnel?
It'd probably be emotional, like being in the Coliseum. Last time I was in the Coliseum when I wasn't a coach, I came out here on a recruiting trip when Aaron Rodgers came over and took it to overtime and almost set a record in SC1. And that's like a memory I vividly remember, you know. And so being here and from this place and being able to walk out of the tunnel and have my family there, it's going to be something that I'll remember forever. Yeah.
Is there a player in your group that stands out as having taken the biggest steps throughout this camp?
Yeah, I would say the young guys. I'd say Colin and Corey have taken huge steps because they came out straight out of high school without, being here in the spring. So those guys have taken the biggest jumps. I think as a group we've elevated together, and I'm excited to see what happens on Saturday. Good, thank you.